That you have chosen to start this day with us here in New York for Get Up. Jalen is here. Laura Rutledge is back.
What's up?
We called Windy in on late notice. And candidly, you've seen the news. I'm shook. We begin with what happened last night. Los Angeles, Magic Johnson stepping down as president of basketball operations for the Lakers, a decision he announced without first informing team owner Jeannie Buss, a decision that has far-ranging implications, not just for the Laker franchise, but for the NBA as a whole. He explained why he did it to our colleague and host of The Jump, Rachel Nichols.
I've been thinking about the great meetings I had with Jeannie the last couple of days. And, you know, I love her as a sister. And so today, I'm going to step down as a president. She doesn't know I'm standing here because I know I would be crying like a baby in front of her, even though I'm about to cry now. I know she's going to be sick, but I know I couldn't face her face to face and tell her. What I didn't like is the backstabbing and the whispering. I don't like that. You know, I don't like a lot of things that went on that didn't have to go on. I want to go back having fun. I want to go back being who I was before taking on this job. I had more fun on the other side than on this side because now, tomorrow, I would have to affect somebody's livelihood in their life. And I thought about that. I said, that's not fun for me. That's not who I am. And what's important for me is I get to help everybody when I wasn't in the Lakers. And now with the fines and the tampering and this and that, I can't help young men who want me to help them, or I can't tweet out, like Russell Westbrook, that was a great feat the other day, and I couldn't even tweet it out to say, hey, congratulations, man. And if I had did that, everybody said, oh, he's tampering. You know, I don't like that. I like to be free. And then I got a great life. I was like, damn, I got a great life outside of this. What am I doing? You know, I got a beautiful life. So I'm gonna go back to that beautiful life.
Stunning yesterday. Here was the Lakers statement that followed quickly. There is no greater Los Angeles Laker than Earvin Johnson. We are deeply grateful to Magic for all he has done for our franchise as a player, ambassador, and executive. We thank him for his work these past 2 years as president of basketball operations. Wish him, Cookie, Andre, EJ, and Elisa all the best with their next steps. He will always be not only a Laker icon, but our family. As we begin the process of moving forward, we work in a measured and methodical fashion to make the right moves for the future of our organization. The team owner, Jeannie Buss, retweeted the Lakers statement, adding, Earvin, I loved working side by side with you. You've brought us a long way. We will continue the journey. We love you. So this is one of those stories that presents a lot more questions than it does answers. Let's go in search of some of those. Our first stop is Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, Magic steps down. I'm giving you the floor. This seemed to come out of nowhere. What can you tell us?
Well, listen, Magic never embraced what was necessary to do this job, the hours, the investment of time, being in the office, being out scouting. His lifestyle, while it certainly was impacted taking this job, it wasn't comparable to the people he was competing against. That's one thing. And now the Lakers have a chance. Jeannie Buss has a chance to do something that this organization hasn't done before. That's to go out and look at the entire landscape of the NBA, beyond a Laker icon, and pursue the best executive available in the league to run your organization. The Lakers are still the most attractive destination in the NBA, and that means calling on Bob Myers in Golden State and R.C. Buford in San Antonio. They've never formally pursued candidates like that, and the Lakers are still, despite all the dysfunction we've seen here, despite some challenges, it's still the premier destination in the NBA. They've got to act accordingly.
Take us inside their offices, because, again, they got this news the same time all the rest of us got this news. At least that's the way Magic presented it yesterday. What was going on inside the Lakers as they found out?
Well, the coaching staff was preparing to say their goodbyes all over the organization and in the building and to each other. They were going to get fired. Magic Johnson alluded to that in his news conference yesterday, that he was about to fire Luke Walton, and then all of a sudden that changes. And, you know, Luke Walton now is, he'll go back to the practice facility today. His coaching staff, they expected to either be fired last night or today. And Rob Pelinka is the highest ranking member of the front office. He's the general manager, and we'll see what his future is going to be here, how Jeannie Buss proceeds. But they've got time here to do a proper search and go out and pursue again the best people. This isn't football where you have to have a new staff lined up right away. You've got to chase assistant coaches. They have time. Luke Walton's under contract next year, a team option for the following year. And the Lakers still can right the ship here. Jeannie Buss has to make better decisions than she has.
Now, I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but oh, by the way, LeBron James is a part of this organization. What is he thinking today?
Well, I was told there was a meeting on Saturday, I think it was Saturday morning, with Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, and LeBron James and his agent, Rich Paul, and that there was no suggestion that Magic was about to drop this bombshell on everybody. And, certainly LeBron's going to have a significant voice in this organization going forward and how they proceed here. He's under contract for 2 more years. He signed a 4-year deal with a player option on that final year. So, they have him locked up, and now they've got to decide how do they want to build a team around LeBron James. How do they go about that? And they have time between now and free agency in July to put a structure in place in L.A. That is more appealing than what they've had here. Agents, players, they're smart. They know who runs their organizations well. They know the top executives in the league. They knew Magic wasn't one of them.
Woj, that's well done. Thank you so much for doing this. We'll be checking in with you regularly, obviously, as this continues to develop, which it will, it would seem, for the foreseeable future. So we bring it to the table for the first time. And again, we'll be all over this all morning long. Jalen, Laura, and Wendy is here. Jalen, I'll give you first crack. This is your childhood idol. I mean, I know how much Magic Johnson means to you. What is your reaction?
He saw the light at the end of the tunnel. The problem was that it was a train. And he realized that he wasn't going to be able to close the deal. When we talk about top free agents this offseason in 2019, Kawhi Leonard, KD, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, they weren't in line to be Los Angeles Lakers. He did bring LeBron James. That is something that he can celebrate. However, when you look at the trade packages that they had this season, even for a guy like Anthony Davis, those offers didn't get better when Brandon Ingram's dealing with his blood clot issues, Lonzo Ball's dealing with his health issues, Kuzma did improve as a player. You thought that their stock was going to boost playing alongside LeBron James. Their stock did not boost. So he understands that he's probably not going to be able to get his goal accomplished, so it's probably the best time to step down.
Wendy, you're incredibly plugged in with this Lakers team and with the organization as a whole. What was your reaction to finding this out?
Let me just add a couple of things to Woj's reporting.
Yeah.
The meetings that Magic referred to at Jeannie Buss, they did not go well. It was very clear, even though they were amicable, that Jeannie wanted one thing and Magic wanted the other. Now, Jeannie made it clear that Magic could do what he wanted, but there was a disconnect there. Secondly, this stunned LeBron. They were completely caught off guard. Normally, LeBron is very up-to-date what happens in an organization. He doesn't always get to make the calls, but he always knows first. This has never happened to him before. But it was what he has articulated to Jeannie and he's articulated to Magic before he left. He remains 100% fully committed to the Lakers. I say that, of course he is. He's got a 3-year contract. There's nothing that he can really do, and he's not going to do anything. He doesn't have a no-trade clause or anything anyway. So he's going to remain committed. When it comes to the Lakers, where they are now, Magic, as great of a player as he is, was, as great as a businessman as he is, as good of a person as he is, he was completely ill-equipped to run an NBA franchise. And he was completely ill-equipped to handle what needed to be handled over the next 6 to 8 weeks, which is what he's basically admitted here.
Can I drill down into that? Yeah. Why? Is he ill-equipped because he doesn't want to do all of the little dirty work, if you will, that goes into something like this? Why was he not ready to do this?
He doesn't have the scope of what it takes to do this. Frankly, the Lakers run as a family organization. That is a nice thing to say. In 2019, you cannot run a basketball operations department as a family. When Jeannie Buss took over from her brother, she hired one of her father's best friends in Magic Johnson. She hired Kobe Bryant's agent in Rob Pelinka, and Luke Walton was hired as the coach, who was basically the surrogate son of Phil Jackson, who was her fiancé and boyfriend for 15 years. That is no way to run an organization. And while everybody respects Jeannie, everybody genuinely likes Jeannie, she has presided over the 6 worst years in the history of the franchise. By any measure, it has been a complete and utter disaster filled with poor management decision after poor management decision. They got LeBron James by default. They fell into LeBron. They didn't win his services over. So, as Woj mentioned, Magic gave Jeannie a gift. They were in a crisis situation here because it was a family turning on itself. She didn't want to have to deal with that. He gave her a gift by pulling the ripcord. She now has the opportunity to turn this over and take the family out of it and turn it back into a business.
And for players and agents, for a really long time, you looked at the Knicks situation and the Lakers situation as nepotism gone wrong, based on what you just described as an ineptitude of the leader to actually create a domino effect of success from the top down. And Magic also talked about the backstabbing and whispering. I'm going to go a little deeper into what he means by that. So being Irvin Johnson is you walk into a room and everybody's enthusiastic about seeing you because of all of the great things that you've been able to accomplish, okay? But you can't separate that from Magic Johnson in LA based on the fact that now he's the president of the team. And a lot of people love the Lakers as much as they love him. So therefore, when they don't make the playoffs for 6 straight years, he's talking about the fans. He's talking about all of the people that aren't so enthusiastic about seeing him anymore because they're unhappy with the fact that the Lakers have not been one of the best teams in the game.
With all due respect, he's delusional then. Because if you are going to say, I'm the president of the Lakers, I'm going to run this, this is not about what happened in 1987. It's just not. And I know that was wonderful times, and they can put it on the scoreboard, and they can look at those banners, and when he walks into a restaurant, he can get a standing ovation. When they do business, when they call the New Orleans Pelicans, they don't say, oh, that's right, we're talking to Magic. Oh, we'll put Anthony Davis on the next flight. When Magic earlier this year was questioned about his decisions about going to the finals, he said in a press conference in front of everybody, I'm Magic Johnson, I went to 9 finals. Hey, man, that is awesome. That does not mean you start every game up 9-0. And their unwillingness to deal with that from the top of the Lakers organization to the floor has led to this failure. And they have had a lost year here. They have completely lost a year, and that is a bad thing to do when LeBron James is 34 years old.
So it sounds like you are saying that if the Lakers clean house, this could be a good time to do that. But do you really think that Jeannie Buss is going to do that? We heard Woj say it. You know, Walton and his staff they were expecting to be fired today. And what do they do with Pelinka? What do you see them actually doing, and what would you do if you were in charge?
Right. Well, I don't think Luke Walton deserved to be fired. I don't necessarily think that's an answer. But if you hire somebody who wants to fire him, you have to support that hire. Woj mentioned R.C. Buford and Bob Myers. They should absolutely check in with those guys. They should check in with Masai Ujiri at the Toronto Raptors. They should check in with Tim Connolly at the Denver Nuggets. The top of the absolute cream of the crop, they should see if they can get them. The Lakers have money, and that's a desirable job. They also need to call David Griffin. David Griffin is in a unique position here. 1, he has a relationship with LeBron James, won a championship with him in Cleveland. 2, he has a relationship with Luke Walton. Yeah, Luke Walton, people may forget, played in Cleveland for a year and a half. David Griffin was there. They have a positive relationship. And David Griffin knows how to deal with complex situations. So that's a candidate for sure.
I want to go back to LeBron here. It's remarkable that he almost becomes the forgotten person in all of this, considering he's the biggest star in the sport. But, I mean, Wendy's book, LeBron Inc., just came out yesterday. You are as plugged into him and the way his mind works as literally anyone in the media. He was taken by surprise by this. What do you think his immediate reaction was?
His immediate reaction is, let's get this right. We have an opportunity here to get this right. Go out there and do, what LeBron believes is he brings it every single night. Is that 100% true in the regular season at age 34? Maybe not. But his production is the same every night. What he wants is his coach to have the same level of execution, his general manager to have the same level of execution, his ownership to have the same level of execution. And that's what he is going to expect. He wants someone competent who can deliver, brought into that organization, and that's what his expectation is going to be.
But I'm hearing a disconnect from what Woj just saying and what you were saying about what people think about the Los Angeles Lakers job. And I keep hearing that people feel like that this is the best job in sports. It's not, okay? There are multiple players from California, DeMar DeRozan, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George. None of them wanted to go play there. Kawhi Leonard is a free agent. He's from California. He does not want to go play there.
Why?
So this idea, because here's what happened, Greeny. Those guys that are elite free agents, they've already won championships. And you don't have to be in the large market and deal with the eyes of the fishbowl with being in LA. You can get that wherever you are. You don't have to chase the hype in Los Angeles anymore and be a member of the Lakers to do that. Yes, they have LeBron, but he's going into his 17th season, okay? He's 34 years old. He missed 18 games this year. So he's not in his prime anymore, and guys aren't going to just hitch their wagon to try to go chase a ring with LeBron at this point of his career.
You're right, but I would say that if you take the general manager of the Lakers, if you're the job, like right now, the New Orleans job is open. The Wizards job is open. If you're looking at these jobs, if you go to New Orleans, you cannot build through free agency. And I agree, Lakers are not positioned well, but you can eventually build through free agency. If you're in Milwaukee, it's a much harder take. Also, the Lakers are one of the richest franchises in sports. They can pay the luxury tax. That when the time comes, they will go deep into the tax they have in the past, they will in the future. You know that they have the mechanisms, plus it is a good place to live. It is a wonderful place to raise a family. So there are advantages that exist in the job that don't exist in all 30 markets.
That guy, by the way, I'm sure it's a name people know. You might not even know who it is. Rob Pelinka, who is their general manager, who was Kobe's agent, the guy who looks just like Rob Lowe standing next to Magic in all those pictures. What happens to him now? Like, he was your college teammate. What? He's the general manager. Luke Walton is the coach. Are they still there? Are they gone? That's him standing there on the left. He looks just like Rob Lowe, and that's basically all anyone knows about him.
And by the way, was a very effective agent, not just for Kobe Bryant, but for many players.
Right.
Magic didn't exactly give him a ringing endorsement yesterday when he said, in the midst of that 40-minute press conference, you know, I didn't really know Rob when I got here. We got to know each other. Then he stopped talking. So I really wonder if Magic was committed to Rob. And one of the things that was also about the backstabbing, Jalen, in the Lakers organization for the last couple of months, there's been a load of CYA. Everybody trying to push blame on everybody else. Oh, LeBron was responsible for this signing. Oh, this guy was responsible for this signing. Oh, the trade talks leaking, that was over there. That wasn't here. No, that was on this person's phone. I didn't send that text message. You said this, I said that. That's been an issue with the general manager, with the president, with the coach, with the players.
This was about the Pelicans deal, right? This was so much of this at the end of the day comes down to the fact that in the media, the entire trade opportunity for Anthony Davis was negotiated so publicly.
Yes, but the Pelicans deal just magnified what was a misfunctioning organization. You know, for example, the trades that they actually made, they give away a really good young player in Ivica Zubac. And I know that Ivica Zubac isn't going to turn you into a championship team, but that just shows you the way that they missed opportunities. Even yesterday, there was a player on waivers yesterday that the Lakers could have claimed in Rodney Magruder, who I thought would be a really nice pickup for them going forward. Again, I'm not going to sit here on this national television show and talk about Rodney Magruder, but a well-functioning front office would have grabbed Rodney Magruder yesterday. Guess who did? The LA Clippers, because they are a well-functioning front office, and it's just a window that you don't handle your business correctly.
But again, you talked about, like, it's a great place to live. When you're making millions of dollars, it's all the same. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, Russell Westbrook can have what he has in Oklahoma, the same as what somebody can have as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. And I have to say this. I like to gauge success off of realistic expectations. What are the expectations of the Los Angeles Lakers fans and organization? Is that they should win the championship this year and next year. That's not realistic. That's what does not make this a good job currently, and that's why we're seeing the level of dysfunction that continues to take place.
Quickly, who is most to blame for this season for the Lakers?
Most to blame? Wow. You got to start with Jeanie Buss because she's the leader.
I agree. She is ultimately responsible for the way this went down. She's a person who can fix it, too.
And just as a final thought here, and again, we will have, I mean, the NBA was insane yesterday, right. But it is worth pointing out that there have been very few, it doesn't never happen, but it rarely happens, all-time great players who become great coaches or executives because the skill set involved is so different, and there is a feeling that, well, as you just said, I'm Magic Johnson. I can do this, I can do that, but what it is a lot of little dirty work that most people don't want to do. All he has to do, as you said, just walk the earth as Magic Johnson and be beloved. Life is wonderful. I took everything he said yesterday at face value. I did. I know a lot of people were scoffing at it. He wants to tweet about Russell Westbrook, but I get that too. It's more fun to be an immortal basketball legend than to be the president of basketball operations. All right, we are just getting started. Obviously, much more on this. And then, oh, by the way, did you see the shirt that Anthony Davis wore to his last home game last night? If you haven't